Now's the time. I like to tell a joke about a recent whitewater rafting trip, or a whitewater rafting trip I did some time ago, and I apologize to Michael, who's probably heard it. He can probably tell it at this point. But it illustrates, I think, what we must do as we offer solutions to the issues of the day, as we talk about what people care about. Anybody been whitewater rafting before? Okay. Well, I went years ago, about 8, 9 years ago, went down the Arkansas River. It's a Class 5 rapid. You can only go as high as a Class 6. It's very strong. And we had about 4 or 5 boats, and the guys got to a point where they said, look, we're going to pull these boats over, and anybody who wants to can get out the boat, swim across the river, go up about 35, 40 feet, and jump back off. Everybody got out the boats except me. I don't know about you, but I don't jump off ridges. And so, as they were jumping off, it looked a lot of fun, and at some point, I said, what the heck, I'm going to do it. Got a little courage. And I finally jumped out into the river. Now, I served in the Navy 5 years. I'm supposed to know how to swim. This is a Class 5 river. And I'm swimming. I'm stroking. And I'm swimming, and I'm noticing, more so than I'm getting across the river, I'm going downstream. And nobody else is noticing. And at some point, your life flashes in front of you, and you say, okay, I got to do something here. And I finally yelled out, hey, I'm going downstream here. And the guy looked over, and he said, put your feet down. And so I did. I stood right up. I was pretty embarrassed. I was hoping nobody else saw that. And I went across the river. I went up 35, 40 feet. I jumped off. It was liberating. I'll never do it again. It was liberating. But years later, looking back on that experience, it taught me, showed me, that there are times where you have to put your feet down and stand up. There are times where you have to put your feet down and stand up for what you believe. Stand up for the solutions that will move this country in a better direction. It is on us, for the sake of our children. Now's the time. And as we do so, let us do so with certain core values like honor, courage, and commitment. And when I speak of honor, I speak of integrity, responsibility, and accountability. When I speak of courage, I speak of the courage to do what is right, no matter the consequences. And when I speak of commitment, I speak of the dedication, the determination, and the persistence of groups like this one here today to make this country better for our children and our children's children. Thank you. God bless. And I appreciate the opportunity. Would you like me to take some Q&A now? I know there's some other things you'd like me to talk about, perhaps, and I'd love to take your questions. I'm not here to campaign today, so...
I do have one question.
Sure.
A lot of people come to these things and they leave with the thought that you just impressed upon us. What practical things can people do?
Yeah. Well, right here. And this is about as practical as it gets. I mean, some time ago, I was sitting in a basement in Washington, D.C. at what's called the Leadership Institute. And a gentleman by the name of Morton Blackwell runs it. You guys have probably heard of Morton Blackwell. He worked very closely with Barry Goldwater. and he runs this leadership institute. And he said some things to us in the class. It wasn't a very nice class, by the way. It was a basement. So, you know, it was grungy, and you're like, I came all the way to D.C. for this. But it was very, very hardcore sort of instruction and sort of insight. And he said to the class, he said, you know, politics, and this was very difficult for me to accept because it's not why I'm in politics, but he said, the nature of politics, different than the reasons you or I may be in politics, but the nature of politics is not about the common good of men. It's not about doing what's right. It's not about improving society. He said the nature of politics is purely and simply the adjudication of power. Who will rule who? Whose society will rule who? It was very difficult for me to take that in because of all the reasons that I got involved with politics. I actually do want to make a difference. I actually do want to try to make it better for our children. But as I thought about it, it was very serious. And the point he was making is that in order to move it in a society in which you believe is best, which allows greater opportunity, prosperity, and liberty, in our case, that what must be done is we must mobilize and confront. Mobilization and confrontation. I mean, that's what we need. That's what needs to happen. Is we must mobilize around our ideas, solutions, principles, and confront the issues head on. When we see our government throwing trillions of dollars in a reckless, irresponsible fiscal policy at corporations which made these terrible mistakes themselves and somehow they're too big to fail. When we see a federal budget that only continues to add to an annual deficit that we have seen since the year 1969, Congress has failed to actually have a balanced budget, adding to a now national debt of $11 trillion. It is upon us, in groups like the R Block Party, these Tea Parties, to come together not as Republicans, but as Americans, to say that there's a better America, and this is it. So what can you do? Starts right here. Get involved with these types of organizations. I know that earlier Amanda Frazier was in the room from Liberty on the Rocks. That's another great organization that I would invite you to get to know more about and look at joining or supporting. But it's through these groups where we can come together, where we can voice our opinions, our solutions, that I think are a very practical, real example of what we can do. Now, certainly, you know, it all starts with the basic element of the individual. But I always say individuals make up the community. We are the community, each and every one of us. It's when we come together that we can have change. You know, it's true. It's true. And is there anyone in here that would disagree that what we need is change from where we're going right now? Okay. We're going in the wrong direction. So I would offer that up, that it's groups like the one you all have put together. It's groups like Liberty on the Rocks, where we need you to continuously come together. It starts here, and we grow it from there. So that's one thing I would recommend you do. Yes?
What practical ways do you have that people are you looking at this point for any volunteers for your campaign?
Yeah. Or
are there practical ways that people can get involved in supporting you?
Yeah. You know, I'm not here to campaign today, although since you asked, I have to answer the question.
Right. I can answer that.
Okay.
I can answer.
Well, I don't mind answering.
Whoever you feel passionate about, put your time behind them. Put your time and your money and your talent behind them. If you don't have a candidate that you're passionate about, well, find your precinct leader.
Yeah.
Just going to mobilize, just like you said.
Or you could just visit www.frazier.com. I guess I wasn't supposed to do that.
What was that in here?
It's FrazierforColorado.com. You'll need to check us out. In the back of the room, you can get more information. What other questions do we have? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions about what's going on? Anybody want to offer up their thoughts? This isn't just about me.
Yeah, as you know, I'm Dave Kerber.